Okay, this is the 35 Ford commercial grill. It's a truck grill. It was too long by a bunch. It was too long by about that much when we started, or thereabouts, not quite, actually about 9 inches. These bars were between these two staves, and it was 9 inches longer than what it's going to be when we get done with it. I took pieces out of the sides. These I cut out of the sides, knowing that I wanted to re-splice everything back together again, but you have to do it in places where it's symmetrical. For example, the little flange up here is the same width as the little flange right here. So when that goes back together again, there's going to be not much of a step there. It's going to look like it was made that way. But in any event, this thing goes right back up here and gets positioned. This gets right behind itself right here, so we still have one stave in the middle, and then we have to weld where we cut this thing away all the way back around, and thus you end up with a grill that's 9 inches shorter, and it still has a support stave in the center of it. That's sometimes it's easier said than done, and I'm not done yet, so, but I think everything's going to work. I've made my cuts, and we've got little brackets, locating brackets to put the joints together to create space for a weld, and if we go slow enough, we ought to be able to get it right on the money. I'm going to TIG it back together again with braze, and it'll look good. It'll end up shorter, and I think we're going to have enough clearance between the bottom of this and the tie rod where it sets. If not, why we'll zip the bottom of that and make some more clearance. We also got, I got a few more, when we last ran the motor, that center carburetor is not getting gas fully the way it should. There's something wrong with it, so I'm going to rebuild it. It supposedly was rebuilt, but it might have dried right out in all the time it sat around. So I got a Holley 94 rebuild kit. I'm going to pull that center carburetor off, take it apart, and I'm going to put it together with all new gaskets and whatever else I see that looks foul. We got a battery disconnect switch, a big one, great big battery disconnect switch. I like to put these on everything. That's so you can kill all the power to all the car or all the vehicle in an instant if you have to, in case of a fire, or in case if you want to park it and keep people from hot wiring it and driving it away. Hide this switch somewhere in the chassis, under the dash, wherever, where it's not obvious where it is, and with a simple flick of the lever, all the power is dead. I've got one of them on the 32, and I've got one on the Mercury. Mercury's in the trunk, 32's on the bottom of the floor on the passenger side. I don't have one in the 55. That's got too much electrics in it now. I didn't want to add any more to it. We also got, I got all my notes together and ordered from Ron Francis a wiring kit. And he had several to choose from. This is called a retro kit. It is for basically an old vehicle, a classic vehicle of some sort. And I told him what I needed. I needed an ignition switch, for example. I needed a light switch, and I got one of the old-timey that says lights on it. And believe it or not, this has the dimmer switch built into it. We're not going to have a dimmer switch on the floor. You reach up and pull this knob, and it'll dim the lights. Reach up, pull it again, and then the lights will go back down again. It's kind of different and unique. Got a horn switch, which is a single button. Steering column plug for all the wires. There's a horn switch, little silver button. That's how the horn's going to activate. Voltage regulator, which we need on this because we're using the 3 wires off the alternator. And then he's got kits here that are all marked, dash gauges and sending unit wiring. Here's stuff around Ford alternator and distributor wiring, turn signal, brake switch, horn wiring. These are all marked and terminated so that you know where they go. Headlight switch, headlights, park and tail lights, dash lights, interior lights, dimmer switch wiring. All that stuff comes with it. And this should be, there's more of it that people say, oh my God, look at that. You'll never get that together. Well, I've done it 3 times, so it's not a matter of whether you can get it together or not. It will go together. It's not that hard. Everything is marked, and if you follow the map, everything works, but I see he sent me the wrong headlight switch. No, he gave me both switches. He gave me a new style headlight switch and the old style headlight switch. He was supposed to swap that out.
It was already in the box. but
Yeah, it was already in the box. He forgot to take it out. Okay, but there's the basic fuses. It's a 12 fuse circuit. That's all we need. It comes with these ATC fuses. And as I say, all these wires are marked. There's a turn signal flasher, hazard flasher, and a relay for something, I forget which. There may even be, let me see, one of these might be a horn relay, but I don't think so. I think I'll have to buy a horn relay. But one of them might be. But that's the name of that tune. This is by one of the best wiring mechanics in the business. I've got Ron Francis wiring in 3 cars that I own, no, 2 cars that I own right now. The only car I don't have it in is a Mercury, which is quick wire. And that's about it. We're gonna try and figure out what the gas tank is here soon, because we need a pickup tube and a cover for the opening. I have the sending unit and so on and so forth. We need to close that up and get it located so I can get that incoming gas line all routed and know that it's going to be in a certain position where it's going to stay, and then we can work with fillers and so on and so forth. But that's as far as we got so far, and we're still trucking.